Welcome to the K9s for Veterans podcast, Operation Honor. Join us on this amazing journey. Hosted by Michael Tellerino, your guide through these inspiring stories along with special co-host Kenny Avery. In this podcast, we will share personal stories and highlight impactful programs that empower our veterans. Discover the impact that service dogs have in the lives of veterans. Tune in to witness heartfelt moments and transformational journeys. Get ready to connect, learn, and be inspired by our veterans' stories. Operation Honor is here to uplift and empower. Let's begin this important mission together.
Hello, and thanks for joining me tonight. My name is Mike Tellerino, along with Ken Avery, my co-host tonight. Podcast is a tribute to the lives of these young men and women and to the strength of the mothers who carry their memories forward every day. We hear the personal stories, love, grief, and courage, and we'll ask to understand the ways PTSD suicide and its effects on family life after such a tragedy. Brandy,
Yes, sir.
why don't you start out by telling us a little bit about LeBron?
LeBron, I knew he was special from the day he was born. He's just an old soul. He had a very caring, loving spirit, and he was goofy. He had a goofy, aggravating personality, but he was so caring, and he always put everyone else and their needs before his. Um, he loved animals. He loved video games. He did so much community service. He'd always put a smile on your face. He could had the toughest days, but you would never know because he was more worried about making you happy and cheering you up before himself. He was just a very special kid. He really was.
I can only imagine. I can't even say I could imagine because it's no parent should ever bury a child. I mean, that just should never be. How do you get through the day?
Um, well, each day's different. You never know what your day when you wake up, what your day is going to be like. Um, when I first lost LeBron, my days were long. They were painful, paralyzing for months, paralyzing. Um, but then I started getting connected with some of the moms in the group, and we started forming relationships, and through them relationships gave you strength. You could see what they're doing and how they're fighting every day. So then you build courage from their strength, and then you finally get up, and you can't you can't give up. You can't lay there and die. You can't.
Uh,
You can't. You have too many people dependent on you. Your son, you have to look at it like your son doesn't want he doesn't want you laying there suffering.
no, not
Doesn't.
at all.
Uh-uh. For me, Jewel was the first one that reached out to me. She was on vacation in the Philippines. She was the first one that reached out to me, and then I ended up connecting with Mia, and then it was just day by day, I was getting a little bit stronger. But I'm going to tell you that what made me the strongest was I built a relationship with God. I got saved. I got baptized. And from that is what helped me staying every day in the relationships with the mothers, honoring our heroes. Like that right there, when you go out there and you keep your son's memory alive and you honor not only your son, but everybody else's son and daughter, that right there puts a fire in you to keep going.
I can only imagine how difficult it is to go through that. Yeah, what would you say to a mother that is suffered the same loss you have? What would you recommend to them?
I would say, first of all, um, I know your grief is lonely, and it feels very lonely because no one around you understands unless they've been in your shoes. Um, I am going to say that you will lose friends that you think that you will have for a lifetime. You'll lose friends, possibly family members, but
Why?
Why?
because
Yeah, why?
why? Well, some of them, I think that they don't understand your grief and they don't know how to approach you. And then, like I just found out recently, like this weekend, one of my friends that I was leaning on just told me, "Hey, you need to get out of this rut." He called my grief rut, and I just knew right then and there that relationship was done. Some of them don't understand. Maybe they don't know how to approach you. Like my mom, she tells me like, I just don't know what to say. I don't want to upset you anymore. And sometimes we don't need someone to say anything. We just need someone to listen. We need to feel
Right.
validated in our feelings. And the only way that just find a mom's group that knows your pain. That right there, they can comfort you and give you advice right there. Reach out to there's so many mom groups on Facebook that you can reach out to, and you can see that they're going through the same thing you're going through. And it's so lonely. Grief is lonely. It really is.
I, c- I couldn't imagine losing one of my kids. Just couldn't do it. So for me to say, I know how you feel, that doesn't make any sense at all. It just doesn't. I want to thank you for giving us an insight, on LeBron because, you need to carry his legend on. The thing that we say at the memorial is say their name and say it loud. We never want to forget our veterans who lost that battle. That's
No.
why that memorial was built.
Yes, and that right there. I knew my son's name. Even after I die, my last breath, I can't never say my son's name again. Someone else will carry that on for
Right.
me, and my son's name will always be said every single year. And I appreciate you for that.
It's our honor. So
all right.
thank you, Brandy, for sharing that.
Thank you for having me.
Joel, you're up.
Hi. Hi.
Tell us a little bit about Eric.
Eric, since he was 3 years old, he wanted to be a Marine. His dad was actually after 9/11. That was 2001 or 2003. And Eric was born in 2001. And he's been wanting to be like his dad. Every day, he always like work camos, mismatch, like boots, shirts, everything. And he got in trouble in school. One time he got caught drawing a tank blowing up a building, and they actually suspended him. And I explained to the school that it was not blowing up the school. It's about, dad being in Iraq. Dad is also in the Marine Corps, but they didn't want to take it lightly. So I said, son, go, take a day off from school. Eric lived, breathed the Marine Corps since he was really young. Every day, he always had his, toy gun with him. And when he found out about the young Marines, it's like an ROTC. He started doing that. And right after high school, he didn't even turn 18 yet. He wanted to go. So he had his 18th birthday in boot camp. And when he was 22, he was promoted to sergeant. And 2023 December is when he passed away, and the whole he was stationed in Yuma and it was pretty hot, and Eric likes the cold weather and he loved San Diego. So anytime he had the chance to go to San Diego, he would. And so he would volunteer anybody if they would go out on deployments and stuff, he would always volunteer. So 2003, he was out the whole time. I didn't get to see him the whole 2003 except for Thanksgiving. We booked an Airbnb for Thanksgiving for a whole week, and the weekends was supposed to be our drive time, but he wasn't able to show up until the night before Thanksgiving. We had Thanksgiving day together, and then that's Thursday and Friday. We gave each other a hug, and luckily his girlfriend took a snap of our picture hugging each other, and we were supposed to see each other on December for Christmas, and he died December 14th. So technically, I only saw him one day, 2003.
I know it's got to be hard. Like I said, I couldn't imagine what your moms are going through. Tell us a special story about.
Eric?
Yeah, give us a little.
Eric is a mama's boy.
Oh,
When he was young, he was so scrawny. He was like a runt. He was the smallest one in the family. And right after like going through middle school, he just got big. Like he's taller than his dad. His dad is 6 foot, and he's taller than his brother. And he even had a picture of side by side that he placed in Instagram. He posted it because he started doing weightlifting, and that was my passion. I was a fitness instructor and a Zumba instructor, and one of my biggest compliment to him, or him to me, was like I complimented him and he said he I was his inspiration.
Oh,
Oh,
And he was a mama's boy, and he loved to give hugs. And he's the type, he will call me twice a day. He'll call me when he's in a drive-through. He'll call me when he's eating. He'll call me like when he's on the road. Or sometimes we would have our FaceTime open and I'll be cooking in my location and he's in his room in his location. But because of the FaceTime being on, it seems like we were just in the same room. But he was him and his brother were only 2 years apart, and he was my youngest for a while, and
right.
until I had my daughter, and they're like 10 years apart. So he was a mama's boy, and he was not ashamed to say that he was. He loved coming towards me and just put his whole entire heavy body on me and just give me the best hug.
oh,
Well, again, I'm so sorry for each and every one of your losses. But you know what? I've learned one thing, and I think Kenny can agree with this. These support groups, I never, until I got involved with Tanya and a couple of the other ladies here, I didn't realize, I guess, how important that support group really is to you. It's so, I mean, it's a way you could express yourself. You could talk about your son. You could talk about your feelings, and you're so right. I know people are cruel when they don't really understand the loss that you're feeling, unless it happens to them, they'll never truly understand what you're feeling. So thank you for sharing your story. He sounds like a very special. All your kids
are
sound
you?
special.
Yeah.
And
Right, Ken?
Michael, I just wanted to say one more thing. My first year, what I did, I was a guest speaker for my local here, and what I decided to do, I learned that when Eric passed away, I didn't want it when people say never forgotten, and then they forget the next day. That's when I decided to just build relationship with all my bereaved moms, because once you form that relationship with them and you get to know the kids, then that's when never forgotten truly means, because if you
Right.
don't have relationship with the other mom, then you would, then you will forget your hero, so that's what forgotten really means.
I think these support groups that each and every one of you belong to, I just think it's amazing that it does so much to help heal, if that's a good word to use, because healing, I don't know if that ever happens, you know. So thank you, Jewel, for that.
Thank you.
Um, Mia,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm well.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about Ollie?
Um, Alec was a really bright kid, really, really smart. Ever since he was in second grade, ever since second grade, I remember him always worried about. Sorry,
It happens. It
it's
happens.
okay. It's okay.
I can't
Go
get
ahead.
it off. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay.
I turned it down.
So, ever since second grade, he always was worried about his grades, and that was like a big thing for him. He wanted to like, Mom, would this look good on my college application? That's just the spirit that he had. He always he graduated top of his class. He was in like the debate team. He won right before COVID hit. He won the state. He won national. He won regional and state here, and he was on the way to nationals. And it got canceled due to the COVID. Um, so he loves sports. He played soccer. He was a forward on soccer. He played
Mhm.
basketball. I was blessed to be able to coach him and his siblings throughout his middle school and a little bit of his ninth grade year before he kind of transitioned over to that high school era. He was a big mama's boy as
Yeah,
well. Just real,
these guys. It's not a bad thing. I was a mama's boy.
So was I. So was
his
I.
friends told him, they said, "Oh, you're a mama's boy." He said, "Yeah, and what?"
Yeah,
He
right.
was proud of it. He was
God
really
bless.
proud.
Tell us a little bit about his. Give us a little funny anecdote about him.
Um, he oh, so what movie was it? It was like some of the movies that he could do the cartoon characters, and he would always try. I can't even say it anymore, but he would always try to like replicate like their little sayings and just real funny. Just I always like to make people laugh and. Kids would gravitate towards him, like people would like the kids would light up any child that seen him. He just had this way, I don't know, some kind of spark about him that was just real special that you don't see in every child, you know.
How do you deal with it every day? What is your escape from
Reality.
the pain and the reality? Right.
I I say it's functional depression at its best. I think I keep myself busy because when I'm not busy, I have to face with those those thoughts and relive those days over and over again. I didn't believe in counseling, but these women that we have met in these support groups have really been like the backbone for us because no one can really understand the pain that we're going through or like those days that we're drowning. And
You're
every
right.
day, Wednesday will be 1 year for since Ollie's passed. And so I just say it's almost breathtaking a lot of the days. I just feel like I'm sitting in my office and I can't breathe. It's comes out the blue. It doesn't it hits in waves. And I always say it's a moment to moment, but I think I keep myself as so engrossed in work and so engrossed in the things that I do to try to help other people that I try not to focus on what I'm going through. Um, but I'm very, very grateful. I'm grateful to, all these mothers that are here that's been a support system for each other and kind of helping keep our child's memory alive. And kind of piggyback off what Joel said is getting to know each child. So we do make it a point to kind of learn their favorite colors and learn more things about them. So it's not just another name, and it's more personal.
Right.
We do like memory things, and we try to like set balloons off or candles off and do it in their child's favorite color, or just to let them know that they're not forgotten, and kind of recognize each mom on those days that we know that it's really, really hard.
Again, I can't imagine what it's like to lose a child. Just couldn't even fathom the loss that you mothers are suffering. And you know, it's got to take so much inner strength to keep going and going and going. You know,
We don't really have a choice, Michael.
no,
Exactly what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like, we have to fight. Like, we can't pass our pain on to our loved ones. We can't do that. We have no choice but to fight. And we're moms, and we're strong. And if, my son's gone, I'm still his mom. So we have to get up and fight. And I think, like I said, we build strength off of each other. And we call each other crying, whatever, and there's no judgment because they know.
right.
Like, and it's
I
hard.
get it.
It's hard, especially with other children. I have two other biological children, and Ollie has 6 other siblings, and it's really hard to sit there and watch them go through those
Right.
the grief and not being able to help navigate it, because that's a sibling and I'm a mother, so we navigate it separately. And I've learned that things that the way I deal with it is different from them. So sometimes I have to kind of put what I'm going through aside to realize what they need
Right.
is different from my own personal needs. Um, him and his siblings had a really unique bond. They were best friends. They weren't just siblings, and they didn't really relate to each other as siblings, more like best friends.
God
And
bless.
so him and one of his sisters, they call themselves the Bobbsey twins, and she has been really struggling a lot
I was going to
with
ask
her
you
mental.
that. Yeah.
I say it's transferable. I say suicide is transferable. All those things that person was carrying in life, and they didn't allow us to help them carry it.
Right.
Now we're carrying it in their death. So all that weight and all that grief is now like a part of our everyday. We wake up with it on our minds. We go to bed with it on our minds. We function throughout the day with it on our
Right.
minds. It doesn't go away.
Right. That's so sad. Tanya, how are you, young lady?
Uh,
I know. I get it. Believe me. No.
it's just watching them just talk about their sons, and I just love them so much. And I try to be strong for them every time we talk, and it's just hard because I can't lie and say it's going to get any easier, because it
No.
doesn't.
No.
No,
Well,
not at all.
I'm sorry, Ken.
No, I just said no, not at all. I can't imagine what you 4 women are going through. It's actually tearing me up. I have children too.
Tanya.
You guys are very strong women.
Yeah. Tanya, tell us a little bit about James.
My God. Well, Jamie, I put him in sports, but he didn't like sports. Of course, the only one that liked sports was my daughter. My boys didn't like it. Jamie wanted to be a chef. So in high school, he took culinary. And then after high school, he worked. And, living in California, it was really hard to, just afford anything. And so then he wanted to... he wanted to join the police department, but he couldn't because he was colorblind. And so he tried to join the Air Force, but he couldn't because he was colorblind. So he got into the Army. And
Go Army.
yeah, and funny because the only color he could see was green.
Oh,
So he would never mix up his
good one.
his uniform. He was I never had to spank him. not once. I asked him when he was 17 if he would do something so I could discipline him so I could feel like a mom. And we were getting rid of this little Papillon dog. And so he asked if he could take my bank card and go and buy the Papillon dog a little something for going away. And I said, sure. And I told him how much he could have, and he seen something that cost a little more, so he tried to steal it. And then so my mom was living with me at the time, and then so there was a clothed officer in the store. And he went up to Jamie, and Jamie looked, and he shook his head, and he was like, I'm sorry. He started pulling all this stuff out of his pockets. So the officer takes him into the office, and he's talking to Jamie, and Jamie's apologizing and was explaining about the dog and that his mom is a single mom, and stuff like this, and that he's so heartbroken that he's going to disappoint his mom. So the officer called me. He went outside and he called me, and he asked me to come down, and I said, okay. And he goes, I just want to let you know, whatever you're doing to your kids, keep doing it. He goes, I cannot even get mad at this young man. He goes, so I'm going to go ahead and let you take him home. Huh?
God bless.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I said God bless.
He goes, so I'm going to go ahead. He goes, I'm going to go ahead and let you just take him home. And I said, hey, wait a minute. I said, just before he went to the store, I asked him to do something bad. I go, so can we keep this going? And he laughed and he said, okay. And so
Bad
I thought
mom.
I was going to be able
Bad mom.
I thought I was going to be able to come home and discipline him and feel like a mom. But no, we got home. He disciplined himself. He cleaned out all his games out of his room and all. So that didn't work. He grounded himself. But he was so amazing. And when I moved from California to Illinois, he called me every hour. Because I've never left California, He was
worried about mom.
Yeah, he was excited that I was actually getting out of California. And the last time I talked to him, he came to visit me. He used to come on the holidays, but he asked me if it was okay if he stayed back because he was dealing with a lot of young soldiers that were talking about suicide or succeeded at it. And so he felt that if he would stay back home and on holidays cook a big holiday feast and invite all the soldiers that had nowhere to go. So he did that, and then he came and then we would take pictures of our turkeys, and between his and mine, whose was the best looking. And then he came to visit me 2 days after Christmas. And last time I seen him was January 1st at 4:44 in the morning when I took him to the airport of 2020, I'm sorry. That was the last time I seen him. Gotta hug him. But I learned when I went to his unit service that a ton of soldiers flew in from camp. I mean, I couldn't believe there was hundreds of soldiers that flew in. And every single one of them were crying. Everyone gave me a hug. And they were telling me that Jamie was right. And I go, what do you mean Jamie's right? He said that he would explain himself as a mama's boy. And if people have a problem with it, they can go suck a.
Yep.
And they asked what and then they asked what his mom looked like, and he said, she looks like me, she acts like me, but she's this tall.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, and he said, don't ever look at me sideways because my mom would tear your head off.
Oh, that's great. That's
Go
great.
Mom. You know,
Yeah.
you ladies, believe me when I say this, the strength that you have, it just, I find it amazing. I really do. I mean, and I can't tell you what an honor it was to add those names to the memorial. Believe me,
It
it's
was super amazing. I mean, I was telling people how your service that you did for us was so much, it was unbelievable. It was beautiful,
It was.
you know.
Definitely.
it's our honor to be
Yeah.
able to do that. It really is.
I think this is what we fight for every day. We fight for that every day, to keep our babies' memories alive and their names told. And for you to do that was the same thing we fight for every single day. So that just had that much more of an impact on what we do.
It's the memorial. It has such a special place in my heart and Ken's heart. It means so much that we honor these mothers that are here tonight and all the mothers, because we don't ever want their child to be forgotten. They should never be forgotten. And my takeaway message at the memorial is we're here to honor these brave veterans as heroes, because they are heroes in every true sense of the word, and they better be honored for that service to their country.
And
I felt like you did something that because at my son's unit service that the Army gave him, they didn't even recognize his own parents. They totally, like, they knew I was his mom, but they didn't, like, he was survived by his mom or like anything. It was just like, oh, thank you, Miss Adams, for coming. And, like, this is my son.
Right.
This is someone that I cannot replace.
It means something to me. Right. I get it. I know.
And I felt that. I felt that.
And Michael, I think you got a you got a firsthand look at our bond and how we supported each other through that event. And our bond and our support system was strong because we were holding each other up. Each and every mom, we were there comforting them. And you got a firsthand look at how we work as a system as far as comforting each other, supporting each other. And I'm glad that you got to see how important it is for us to be there for each other.
That's what I like about the support groups, because I'm in those chat rooms all the time, just keeping up to date on what's going on with all the ladies, because Ken and I, that memorial, we just put together an advisory board. The Canine for Veterans and the Forgotten War Memorial are two separate entities. They are not connected in any way, shape, or form.
No.
So this memorial has such a special place in my heart. When we have those ceremonies there, and I have to call you ladies up to come and unveil your son's name, I mean, it just tears me up. It really does. When I talk to you and I hear your stories, I just can't imagine the pain that you're enduring. It's just beyond me. It really is. And my camera keeps going out.
How I'm curious, lady.
Right?
I'm curious, ladies. How often do you talk to each other? Do you talk to each other on a daily basis, or
Every
Several times a
day,
day.
multiple times a day.
no? Yeah, I could imagine.
We have become best friends We are soul sisters. I am, of course, the oldest one. But
It's a
yeah,
good
like
morning, beautiful text every morning.
yeah.
Good morning, beautiful.
How
Sometimes I
many?
get a little
Scriptures
busy.
during the daytime. I try to share scriptures throughout the day, or just a daily
Yeah.
prayer in our groups. Let each other know we're there for each other. Our sons brought us together, and there's going to be pain in the purpose. There's going to be purpose in this all this pain. Should I say? I feel like everything that we're doing right now is in memory of our sons because of the life they lived, and
Right.
we can continue that on. Their story is not over; it's
No.
still being told, and it's up to us to kind of tell that story now for them, and kind of help other mothers that are coming in. It's so sad that there's so many mothers on a daily basis that are coming into these groups, and the number is
That's why I have to back out
outrageous.
sometimes.
That
It's really sad to see the amount of suicides that are taking place amongst our military every single day, and no one talks about it. This dark side of the military.
Nobody.
It's just
how do you reach out to these moms and dads and get them involved with what you do?
Um,
Facebook.
yeah, a lot of it's through Facebook, through Messenger, private messages. We kind of start there because while you're going through it, the first couple weeks, the first couple months, everything's a blur. You're here, but you're not here. I mean, I'm in my first year and I'm still going through them days of like, I don't really know. I'm here one day, I'm not really here one day. But just kind of let them know, hey, we're here for them. And as the process goes on, we try to introduce them to like other people, other moms, other organizations that help honor their child, and to let them know that they're not in this alone, and just that they have a whole nother support system they never knew they had. And that's a big thing because not everybody wants counseling. Not every counselor can kind of guide you through this journey.
Hmm.
Because if you haven't been through it, you don't really know. And people can say they understand, but
right.
no one really understands what it's like to have that connection with your child. And I just had the privilege to be with my child for the last year of his life. Um, and to like try to do things to get him back into like a norm, and to get to this point where I lost him and my world revolved around my child, my whole his whole life, and a lot of ours did. And to have them like one day just gone, that's just something that we'll never grasp, never wrap
No.
our heads around. I think we'll
Well,
always.
thank God they have these support groups for you mothers that help you deal with your sorrow and your loss and stuff like
You
that.
know
I
how
mean,
else I can't even talk. I'm like thinking of all these moms, and like my heart just breaks for every single one of them. And but how I deal with it, and I'm just gonna say, and Mia is one of my biggest cheerleaders. Is making little memory bears. I just made this today out of my son's shirt because I made 3 of them, but they went to other people.
God bless you, lady.
I'm gonna I'm gonna start doing that.
Okay, I'm gonna we're running out of time. I'm gonna ask Jewel, in closing, what would you like to say?
Um, I guess I just wanted to say too that us mothers, our grieving protocol, as I experience, we almost have the same protocol on grieving. We kind of so most likely we have our own dialect, so when somebody says something, we understand what they're really going
Right.
through. And every day, I guess, a lot of people consider us strong, but technically we are strong without no choice.
Right.
And every day life is a struggle, and every day is there's a lot of life affliction. And what I wanted to say to people, to be just to be kind, because sometimes even with grief, I usually call, there's 2 types of, like, I call it a season, which is your wet season, which is your tsunami. and there's days where we're like a volcano, you know, you look at
Right.
us and we look like we're okay, but deep inside us, you know, where it's brewing in there, and we're just ready to explode. And if we, you know, when we encounter somebody being
Right.
unkind, that can actually lead to suicide for
Hmm.
some, you
Right.
know. So what I say, just be kind.
Doesn't take anything to be kind. Brandy,
Yes, sir.
go ahead, young lady.
What I would say is just what Jules said. Be kind, because when we are on our healing journey, any little thing can cause us to have a relapse in our healing process and set us back. And we don't want to go back to that dark place. And also for all the moms, reach out. You're not a burden, because we feel like burdens. You're not a burden. You know, we're the only ones that understand. So please reach out.
God bless.
Yep.
Tanya. Tanya.
Oh, I was just about to say the same thing to all you moms that feel like you're dealing with this by yourself. You're not. We're here. Um, and I'm blessed now because for the first 3 years, like I said, I moved from San Diego to Illinois. Before my son died, I had no family and no friends here. So I have been dealing with this by myself. And I am so blessed for Mia, Jules, and Brandy, and all the other moms that I became friends with, because last year I really lost myself. And I feel like I'm kind of getting back into that because it is really lonely. So don't just sit back and you know, not reach out to one of us, because we're always here. And I'm always available. I don't care what night it is. Just don't all call me at once.
Oh, dear Lord.
I don't know what we're gonna do with her.
Yeah.
Um, just
I-
I want to say, like, we are a group of women that are here for everybody. So I know there's people out there watching right now and that are going through things, and know that we're here for them. Anytime, reach out. Don't ever feel like Brandy said, your feelings are a burden, because sometimes we need to like hear how you really feel. So we're not going crazy. We know that, hey, these are relatable feelings. We're all going through the same thing. We're thinking the same thing, similar. Every day's not a good day. Everything's not a bad day. But we are here. And I think the most part is now, how can we stop? How can we um, actively work on stopping veteran suicide or active duty military suicide in general? And trying to get involved in like our community and getting involved with the bases nearby, in order to make sure that no other mother has to be in this position that we're in right now. And the ones that are in this position, that we give those resources like yourself to, send them to you so they can be honored on the memorial. Little things like that kind of help along the way.
You know, I mean, what you're doing just by talking to these other mothers, giving them somebody to listen to them, that means so much. Just like our veterans with PTSD that we provide service dogs for, the hardest thing for them to do is to find someone to talk to, someone that wants to listen. And Ken, you deal with that with me at the training center every day when we're training veterans in their service dog.
I
You know,
deal with it daily. I always on the phone with people, and I'm a good listener. Sometimes I talk too much, but I'm a good listener, and I'm telling you, normally I would talk a lot more, but I'm so amazed with you four women, how strong you are. Wow. I mean, you are God sent. I mean, I hope people out there that are watching this saw you, talked to you. I just love what you're doing.
And,
And it's sad that you have to do this, but you are so four great, beautiful women. Thank you.
and just know this, okay?
You.
We lost. Okay, just know this, that when we added your son's name to the memorial, it was our honor, and we will always be here to honor your son in any way we can. And we, Kenny and I, will both be here to help you in any way we can.
And
So just,
Michael, I
yeah,
just wanted to say too, like with your veterans, you could always have them call us. Because some of us parents were also, not every parent, but there's some parents too that are suicidal.
right,
So we kind of know what they're going through now.
Yeah.
So,
You know what to
like
look
if
for. You
somebody
know what to,
wants to talk or anything like that, my numbers, you have my number.
I
yes,
do.
yes.
And those thoughts are real.
So,
Those thoughts are real. And after talking to all the ladies, and that's a common. It's common. Like I said, suicide is transferable, and I say that because those thoughts that our children had now transferred to us,
Yes.
our children, our family members,
right,
and that's just a real aspect of this, suicide and of this grieving process and grieving journey. So they're not in this alone. Those thoughts are not scary. I mean, they're scary to most people that don't understand why
right.
we have those thoughts.
Well, I want to thank each and every one of you for sharing your story about your child, and what you went through, and how you can help other mothers. God forbid we have another one that is struggling with this, that they find some comfort in what you have to say, and maybe reach out to some of these support groups. So I want to thank you for being on my podcast tonight. Um, and again, Kenny and I are both here for you in any way we can. It didn't stop when we added your son's name to the memorial, believe me.
No, not at all.
God bless you, ladies. Thank you for joining me tonight, and Kenny.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank
Thank you,
Thank
Mike,
you.
you.
Thank you
Kenny.
for
God
having
bless.
us.
Bye.
Have a good
Ladies.
day, ladies.
Bye.
Bye. Love
Bye.
you, ladies. Love you, everybody.
Love you.
Love
Love
you.
you.
Love you guys. Talk to y'all in
Love
a
you.
few minutes.
I'm so lost. I'm using my my TV remote to